Bella Vista Community Television presents Bella Vista and Beyond. Today our host is Bambi Crozier, and we will be talking about organizer chicks and bumbles in boots. And now to the studio for our program.
Good morning. Good afternoon, y'all. Thanks so much for joining us today. My name's Bambi, and I'm your host today for Bella Vista and Beyond. Due to the pandemic, we've seen a lot of businesses that had to shift their focus to a more online process. Even some in-service businesses have had to find a way to serve their public, even if that meant remotely. And today I've got Miss Amber from the Organizer Chicks with us, and she has done a phenomenal job of this in her business, and I would love for you to share with us a little bit about what you've got going on.
Yeah, thank you, and thanks for having me today. I'm super happy to be here. So like a lot of small business owners, I think, it became pretty obvious that the writing was on the wall mid-March. So my company is called the Organizer Chicks, and we're professional organizers. And so we go into people's homes, and we walk beside them through the process of decluttering and creating systems of organization, and we help people to pack and to unpack and to downsize. And so what we do is innately very in person. It's very much, in each other's space. And so when it became obvious that, hey folks, we're in a pandemic here, our business model as we've known it can't really continue right now, we just really started to try to think outside of the box. And so we decided to do some online challenges. And honestly, it's been so much fun, and it's been the kind of thing that I've been saying for a long time. One of these days, I think I want to create some online course content. Well, one of these days just knocked on our door in a big way, didn't it? And I think a lot of people who are small business owners have, found the silver lining. Not that anyone's happy for a pandemic, but I think a lot of us have started to say, how can we, like you said, continue to serve people? And as a small business owner personally, one of the things I want to continue to do is to be relevant. We've got, followers on Facebook and on Instagram who are looking to our pages for content, for inspiration, for ideas. And so, you just don't want that well to dry up. You want to continue to be a place where people come and look for before and after pictures, of decluttering and of organization. And so we wanted to continue to provide value, to continue to provide content, and to continue to stay top of mind for people, because when this is all said and done and normal, whatever that looks like, might reemerge, we want to still be a name that people say, the Organizer Chicks, I'm gonna hire them into my home. And so we started doing some online challenges, and it has been very fun. We have done challenges about decluttering, about organizing, about paper clutter, about time management. We're going to be rolling out one in August about kids and clutter and how to help your children to find the intrinsic motivation to tidy their spaces and to have a winnable, achievable space to tidy without too much stuff in it. So.
Yeah, I absolutely love that. When at the beginning of the pandemic, I found myself spending more time at home than I had in the past.
Right.
I'm typically a very busy person, so having that time to just sit around and look at my four walls, I got to eyeball my mess. And I was on Facebook and I saw your post about this class, and I thought, well, that's interesting, and it's affordable. I could totally do that. And so I took the class. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I learned a ton. I'd love for you to talk about some of the psychological, physiological responses that people have to their clutter, because they don't even understand that I didn't until I walked out of my space that I had decluttered. And I reached out to you and told you about that.
Right.
Talk a little about that.
So interestingly, I have a Master's of Science in Clinical Mental Health, which is kind of a counseling, psychology background. And what a weird thing to do for a living with that, right? But I only half-laughingly say this is the cheapest therapy you'll ever buy. And what we know to be true is that when we as humans see cluttered spaces, even if they're not our own cluttered spaces, we experience a spike in cortisol. And cortisol is a neurotransmitter that does a lot of good things for us, but in excess amounts, it does some pretty ugly things too. It messes up our blood sugar, it messes up our blood pressure, messes with our serotonin, which helps us to sleep deep and to sleep for longer periods of time. So the Mayo Clinic has gone so far as to say that excess cortisol over time can disrupt, quote, all of the body's natural processes. So we don't want to mess around with this cortisol thing, right? And we know that when we see clutter, we all experience a spike in it. And when I say this next thing I'm about to say, probably no women who are watching will be surprised to know that this is true, but women experience a statistically significantly higher increase in cortisol than their male counterparts do. We have a higher spike in cortisol, and it lasts for longer than men do. So we are impacted by our physical environment, whether we like it or not, whether we know it or not. And I'll be honest, what you came and told me is something I've heard a lot. Sometimes we're stressed out, we're short-tempered, we don't have a lot of patience, we have a brain fog going on that's aggravating, and we maybe can't quite put our finger on why. But very often, physical environment is dictating what's going on with us internally, and our emotions and our mental clarity are following that. And so the good news is that we can change one of those things and elicit a change in the others. And so if we take control of our physical environment, especially during a time where we're stuck inside a lot right now, right? If we can, let's control what we can, because there is so much in this world at any given time, but especially right now, that we just really can't be in control of. And so if we just say, what can I control? And let's do the best that I can with what I have. Your experience, I'm so, that just feeds my soul to hear when people say, like, I enacted these principles that you told me about, and they truly made me feel better and think more clearly and have more patience with my family. That's just like the best thing I could ever possibly hear. So
Absolutely. My husband was tickled pink that I had more patience with him.
Good.
And I loved, one of the things that I loved, and it was like anecdotal at the end of the class where you shared, hey, this is how I do my mail system at home. That was a huge takeaway for me, and it has stopped all of the clutter that comes in and piles on my kitchen counter, because eventually I'm going to get to that. Yeah. Now I have that set up. I go through, I get rid of all of the junk immediately. Everybody has their own. I don't have to track. When you check your mail, it's your business. Go take care of it. So I loved that. So you're talking about a class coming up for kids.
Right, yeah. In August, we're going to roll out a Kids and Clutter Challenge. And of course, the class is for the parents, but it's for the parents to gain a skill set and maybe a perspective that will help their kids. Because, we say to our kid, hey, go clean your room. And what's maybe not so obvious to understand is that children don't have the vocabulary to express it like you and I do, but they feel the full gambit of human emotions, including stress and overwhelm, just like we do. Mm-hmm. And so if you've got a kid and you've said, hey, go straighten up your room, and they become noodle legs on the floor, or they go back as if they're going to clean the room, and then they just don't, there's a decent possibility that we're overwhelming our children with stuff. We know that in America we have 3% of the world's children and 40% of the world's toys. And so we are truly overwhelming our kids with stuff, and we're doing it out of love. We want them to have good things. But what I want to champion is the idea of truly doing more with less with our kids and allowing them the gift of boredom. And when a child has fewer things to play with, they don't toy hop as much. Mm-hmm. And we don't see, as high levels of ADHD in countries and in areas of our country that aren't quite as over-toyed. And so when a child is enabled to become bored, that's when we see deep imaginative play, where we have toys that don't light up and sing songs and make noises at us. It is good for our brain in a physiological way to have that gift of boredom. So yes, we're going to be doing a class in August. Anyone who's interested in that can check us out at theorganizerchicks.com. We'll be posting all of dates, for our future classes for that particular one. That'll be coming up in August.
That's fantastic. Are you still doing on-site visits and services?
Yeah, that's a great question. We have resumed that as of the last couple of weeks and taking some precautions. We've got face masks that we are happy to wear if the client requests for us to do that. Or sending in probably a smaller crew than we might typically. There are 17 chicks in the flock, in the Organizer Chicks here in Northwest Arkansas. And so we have the ability to send in, a big crew and get a lot of work done in one day. But we oftentimes are offering clients the option to maybe have more days of work with a smaller crew, just to be able to socially distance a little better. And then, of course, we're taking frequent breaks to do hand washing and things like that. And frankly, to take our masks off and go outside and breathe clean air for a minute, a non-smoking break, if you will. We're just trying to be, safe and smart and still live our lives to the degree that we can.
Absolutely, that's amazing. What does it typically take in time and in cost to take these classes?
That's a good question. And they all have a little bit of a different cost depending on how intensive they are. So some are going to be maybe even as much as a 30-day challenge, and some are going to be a 5-day. We've had ranges anywhere from $27 to $47. The next one we have coming up is actually kicking off on July 4th. It's a Freedom from Clutter challenge, and we're doing it for $4. So can't beat that.
Man, that is a phenomenal deal. And where can they find this information again?
Sure. So if you're not already following us, please feel free to check us out at facebook.com/theorganizerchicks. We're also on Instagram, _organizer_chicks, and at theorganizerchicks.com.
That's wonderful. Amber, thank you so much for coming today. I just value you as a person. I've known you for a long time, and you've always added value, which is a huge thing to me. And I think our stories are really important. And in the class that I took of yours, and what I've seen from you over the time that I've known you, you always share your story. And our stories is where there's a ton of power. So I appreciate that. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for your kind words and for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. All right, guys, thanks so much for joining us. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
Stay tuned. We will be right back. Welcome back. Here is our host, Bambi.
Welcome back, you guys. We've all been impacted by this pandemic in one way or another. Some people are out and about. Some people are staying home. And while we get the choice to choose whether we go out and about or we stay home, we still have life events that we can't stop, like birthdays, anniversaries, weddings, babies are being born, engagements. Life is still happening. So there are times when we want to participate in these events, and yet we may be stuck at home and not understanding how we can. And so our second guest today is Amanda Johnson with Bumbles and Boots Custom Creations, and I'd love to take some time to introduce you today.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate you a lot.
Thank you, Amanda. Listen, you're here today. I've heard not only in my shop, but just around on Facebook that people are talking about these events going on, and they're very hesitant to go, especially if they're in high risk ages or high risk with health. They really want to participate in these things with their loved ones, but they have this great hesitancy. So I thought you would be great to come on. Tell us a little about what you do with Bumbles and Boots Custom Creations and how you can help them.
Well, I'm a custom gift and gift basket company, so I basically take the stress out of those types of gifts for your loved ones, whatever the occasion may be. You basically tell me what the occasion is, what that person likes, and I do the shopping, I take the stress away, I deliver, I ship. So you can still be involved in those events when you can't be there by sending something that's extremely custom, because every gift is totally tiered for that or geared toward that person that you want.
I love that. Tell me how you got started. I know this is very personal for you.
Absolutely. I've been doing this for family and friends for as long as I can remember. I've always enjoyed it. I love that look when you give somebody a gift and you know that they are going to appreciate it and it's something that they're really going to enjoy. So I thought, why not try to start a company doing something like that? And as I was doing research, I noticed that there weren't any companies like that in Northwest Arkansas. There are some online and such like that, but I really wanted to bring a personal, local feel to it. And so that's kind of where it came about. And
it works well.
Yeah, I've been doing it about 3 years now. I really, really enjoy it.
That's wonderful. So a lot of our clients, or a lot of our viewers today, a lot of them are at home and they want to participate in these things. How can they communicate to you so that you can get that perfect gift for the person that they love?
Well, You can reach me on my website, which is www.bumblesandboots.com. Obviously, you can call me. You can also just reach out and we'll have a conversation. I think it's really important when you're doing this for me to understand more about this person so that I can pick these custom gifts for them that are, because it's totally geared towards whoever the recipient is. So just a conversation, and the more you can give me as far as what that person likes, the better. And then I kind of take it from there and do the shopping. I kind of have a knack for that. I kind of like shopping, so.
And getting the best deals.
Absolutely, yes.
Well, so tell me a little bit about, when we were talking previously, you were telling me about a mermaid basket you got to put together.
Oh.
Tell me how that conversation went and what all you put in there. And how that went.
So this was for a birthday for a little girl. I think she was 9, and her mother basically was like, she loves girly stuff, but boy, is she into mermaids. And I thought, well, this is going to be a fun one. So I found a basket that literally said mermaid time on it, pictures that had mermaids on it, stationery, because she gave me things that she wanted, like she wanted some note cards. She likes to hang stuff like in her room and to decorate and things like that. So I just kind of took that and went crazy with mermaid stuff. So it was a lot of fun. Because we all want to be a mermaid, right?
That's phenomenal. Do you ever get to deliver them personally? Are they mailed? How do these products, these end products, get to?
It depends on what the person prefers. I do allow, you can pick it up because, let's be honest, a lot of people do when they get a gift like that. They want to be the one to deliver it, to see that look on the recipient's face. But I also deliver all over Northwest Arkansas. I also ship. I've shipped in-state. I've shipped across state lines. Just basically anywhere that you can ship, I can do that. But that's kind of the approach I like to take to make it a little bit more personal. And I love the response when I get to deliver it, which is, you're right, it doesn't happen all that often. But when it does, it makes my heart so happy just to see the look, because most of the time they're like, what? What is this? Because I do believe presentation is everything. And then it's just wonderful to peel everything back and see what everything's in there. And it's like the gift that keeps on giving.
That's right. Tell me what the price ranges are. And I see that you've brought one today. I don't know if they can get that one on camera, but she's brought a little basket today that looks absolutely beautiful.
Thank you.
Tell me what the price ranges are. Is there a particular bottom dollar, top dollar? What is it that you do?
So they start around $55. Now this one is a little bit lower on that price point, but I brought that today just to give an example for a visual, because I'm visual, and I think that's easier for people to understand what it is that I do by visually showing them. They usually start at about $55, and they can go up from there. I've done a $300 basket. I've done 445 baskets, all the same for a company, for all their employees. It's just, there's really not anything that I can't do when it comes to putting baskets together.
Yeah, so when you talk about employees then, so do you do corporate baskets?
Absolutely.
Fantastic.
I think it's important as an advertising tool, especially you do work for a customer, they should be appreciated, but you should also use that as an opportunity to market yourself. So I love taking, corporate companies, whomever, their materials with their logo and their branding on it, and putting that in a basket, and then adding some personal things like a candle or whatever you want, pretty much, and putting that together, because I do think you should thank people when they use you as a business, but also think you should market yourself as well during that. And so, yeah, I do those too, and I love doing those. I think everybody should do those, just my personal opinion.
Yeah. So, and I love what you just said. So you can actually supply an item or multiple to you that you want included in the basket, in addition to you shopping for and then putting it together with the ribbons and the wrap and everything.
I do a basket every month for Blue Cross Blue Shield, so I have just a tin of stuff that she has given me, that based on what the theme of the basket is every month, I will put those things in the basket just to brand them as well, because they're giving them away. They're giving them as silent auction items in certain senses, so they should be shouting out Blue Cross Blue Shield as well. And that's true with any corporate or business. in my opinion.
Absolutely. Well, and you just did a basket for Bella Vista Community TV for the Pro-Am golf tournament we just did.
I did.
And it was beautiful. I heard that it sold before it actually hit the auction floor because people loved it so much.
Those are fun to do. I love doing the silent auction items because I love being a part of the community, and I love local. I always try to buy as much local as I can. Now that's not always the case when it comes to what somebody might want, but as much as I can buy local, I do, because we have to
Fantastic.
support each other.
Well, what's one of your favorite baskets you've ever made?
Oh man, that's kind of a tough question. I'd say I probably made about 500-600 baskets in the last 3 years. I really did like the mermaid one. I know you already brought that up, but and I really like the one for the golf tournament as well, because I don't always get to do baskets with liquor in them because there's not a permit for me, but when I donate them I can, and so I always try to do something like that. So that one was fun because it was a martini basket. Mother's Day, anytime I get to do Mother's Day or like Easter baskets, those are really some of my most fun ones to do because it's an appreciation for, and I don't get a lot, as much as I would hope, of men, like baskets for men, but boy, I can make a heck of a men's basket too. Those are fun to make too.
So, and we just had Father's Day, so it would have been a great opportunity. What are some other holidays where we may not think, hey, we need to reach out to Bumbles and Boots? Where could you help? Thanksgiving, okay.
Instead of bringing a bottle of wine, how about bring some decor, have me put together a basket with decor, Thanksgiving decor that you could take to your mother or whomever you're spending Thanksgiving with. Christmas, I get Christmas baskets, but I don't think people necessarily think about that. They're wonderful gifts to send to your relatives and your friends that you don't get to see necessarily every Christmas too. Let's see, I do all your general holidays, but I mean, I can do a basket for anything, like you said, weddings, bachelorette parties, birthdays, or mitzvahs, whatever you need a basket for, I can do it.
Very good. And when someone comes to you for that gift consultation, what are the types of questions you're asking them so that they can pull from their noodle what this person that they're trying to gift to might like?
Primarily, the first question is, what are some things that they like? Now, sometimes people are like, I don't know. And then I just kind of probe, well, do they like chocolate? Do they like coffee? I just kind of start with general things, and then I'll usually kind of open up people's head to be like, oh, they do like this. Oh, you know what I know they like? They collect teacups. And I'm like, okay. So then you can kind of get people thinking about it. But that's really where I start. What's the occasion? What are some things they like? And the more that they can give me that they like, the more I can use that information to go and shop.
Yeah, absolutely. And find out what that relationship is and what's important between the two of them. I love that. Well, we're going to run some information along the screen, and I know you shared they can reach you via phone. Where were those other places?
Website, phone, and also I have Facebook at BB Custom Creations and Instagram at Shop Bumbles and Boots. So you feel free to message me, contact me there. I usually will get back to you within a few hours. But yeah, that's pretty much how you can reach me. I'm not hard to get a hold of. If you really want a basket, I can make it happen.
Yeah, and aren't you're a member of the chamber, and you do a lot with the chamber too, don't you?
I do. The Rogers Lowell Chamber. I'm also a member of the Junior League of Northwest Arkansas as well. I like to be involved in the community. Like I said, I love the whole local aspect, so that was another reason that I wanted to do something like this, because I feel like it's a need. People don't know they need it, but they need it, and we don't have anybody really. There wasn't anybody doing it before, so I'm hoping that I can reach more people and they can realize just how much they need the service and how much they would be happy with the service that I provide.
Absolutely. Well, to me, what it sounds like is when you can't run up and put your arms around somebody you love, you call Amanda, she'll get that basket, and when they receive it, they'll feel like they've just been hugged, right?
Oh, they will. I promise. I would love to get one of my baskets, actually.
Yes, I bet. She's like, I'll take that, please.
Yeah, there have been some that I've been like, man, I really want to keep this one.
Yes. Is there anything else you would like to share with our viewers today?
No, just if you have a need for a gift, if you don't know what to get somebody, I can usually help you kind of figure that out and make it custom, make it personal, and they will thank you for it. I appreciate you having me today.
Thank you, Amanda, for coming. I appreciate you for coming so much. Well, Bella Vista and Northwest Arkansas, thank you so much for tuning in today. Please consider shopping local and let us know if there is some service that you're missing. If you're at home and you need something and you're missing it, please consider reaching out to us. We've got a Facebook page. I think it's Bella Vista Community Television. Reach out there and just say, hey, I'm looking for this. Or if there is a need that you have and you would like to have us help you connect with that, please reach out, and we would love to be able to connect and help serve you better in that way. Thank you so much for coming today, and I hope y'all have a great day.
Remember, you can see this program on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday at various times. You may also view this program on YouTube.com by going to Bella Vista TV. This has been a presentation of Bella Vista Community Television. Thank you for joining us.